Hey YouTube, it's Des, and today I'm going to be doing a kind of like a story time of the reason why I hadn't been to go get my hair done at a professional shop in 7 years. I'm going to try to keep the story short, but try to give all the details, so let's just jump right into it. Okay, so when I first moved down to Atlanta, I decided to go natural. That was when I decided to first do the big chop and all of that. But before I started doing the big chop, I wanted to grow it out. And so I found a hairstylist down here. He told me, for the sake of this video, I'm just going to call him Joe. So the hairstylist, Joe, you know, he told me, oh, I specialize in natural hair and I can get your hair the length you want it. He had told me that he had been in all of these hair shows down in Atlanta and that he was having a hair show that was coming up soon and he wanted me to be a part of. So when I met him, I was like, hey, okay, cool. Like, I'll go ahead and start coming to you. So I would go get my hair done by him. It started off every 2 weeks. So I went for like a month, every 2 weeks. And then he's like, oh, you know, I think you should start coming weekly. I'm going to do some treatments on your hair because it's getting so healthy. And guys, the way he had my hair growing was just so bomb that I couldn't resist. So I'm just like, okay, I'll start going. So the first month I was paying for my services, you know, getting my hair done. And then when he wanted me to come weekly and he asked me to be a part of his hair show, he was like, well, I'm not going to charge you to do your hair. I just want you to, you know, come every week and do these deep condition treatments and all of this. And I'm not going to charge you. I just really want you to be in my hair show. So I'm like, okay, cool. So let's rewind the tape. So when I first met him, I caught the vibe of him being a homosexual. That's just what it was. Like, he had a lot of feminine ways, and so I never really saw him as a guy that would be trying to look at me, per se. So I decided to go ahead and keep getting my hair done. So I went, I would say, every single week for about another month. So we developed a relationship, as in, you know, that was my dude, I was his girl. Like, he would call me up like, hey, you coming in today? That kind of thing. Nothing else but that. So going a little further into it, one day I decided to go like a little later to get my hair done because he said he had a lot of people in the shop that day. So I wanted to, you know, give him a chance to get everybody out since those were paying clients. I'm like, okay, I'll just go later on. It's no big deal. You know, it wasn't a rush. I wasn't going anywhere that day, so I just said, you know, I would come a little later. So I came a little later to get my hair done, and everything was going good. He did my hair and everything. So this one particular time, you know, he does my hair and it's late and everything. And so afterwards, I'm like, okay, he walked me to my car because the shopping plaza that he was working at, it was like a church downstairs, and it was like really no other clientele or like stores in the upper part. And his location was located on the second floor in a very busy part of Atlanta. So, you know, it really wasn't a big deal, but I just asked him to walk me to my car that night. So I'm like, hey, can you walk me to my car? And so he's like, okay, yeah, I'll walk you to your car, but I want to show you something. So I'm like, okay, you know, what's up? So he opens up this back door and he's like, yeah, like, you want to chill in here? So I'm looking like, you know, I'm looking around. I'm kind of looking at him like, what do you mean, do I want to chill in here? Like, no, I don't want to chill in here. I'm about to go home, you know. He's like, no, I'm just kidding, you know. This is just where, you know, sometimes if I get tired, I don't want to go home, I just crash. So they already kind of gave me like weird vibes because I'm just like, okay, why do you have a bed in here? Why do you have a refrigerator in here, kind of thing? But I just, you know, didn't think anything of it. I'm just like, okay, cool, that's how you want to live, that's how you want to live. Because sometimes, you know, you may get tired as a business owner. I know you may get tired, so I'm like, okay, maybe he just want to crash there sometime. But he did drive a really nice truck, so, you know, I'm like, I know he has a house. I'm not going to think anything of it. Okay, cool. So I'm like, no, I'm going home. So he walks me to my car. That was that. So I go back the next week. I always went on a Friday, so I get off work, and I'm like, hey, I'm pretty tired, but do you want me to come later to get my hair done? I can go take a nap and get up and come up there, or do you want me to come now? So he's like, hey, let's, you know, come up here now, whatever. So when I went up there, there was one other person there. She was getting her hair done, nothing major. I think she was just getting like a flat iron or something. So she got her hair done and she left. So it was just us two, and we were watching TV and everything. And so then he's like, hey, he was like, after I finish your hair, do you want to go grab something to eat? So I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm pretty hungry. I hadn't, you know, gotten anything to eat before I came over there or anything. So I'm like, yeah, that's cool. So we decide to go get something to eat. So we go to this restaurant. It was like a Mexican restaurant. So, you know, I get some food. He orders some food. And I never really expect for the man, just because he's a man, to pay for my food, even though he invited me out when we had that kind of relationship. So I'm like, hey, you want me to grab the bill? Like, I can pay for my food. Like, how you want to do it? He's like, oh, no, I got you, you know. Whatever. Because, mind you guys, he wasn't paying for my hair. So I'm just trying every little thing just to kind of like give him, you know, a little incentive from doing my hair. So he's like, no, it's cool, I got you. So he pays for our food, and I think I had like, I don't even think I had a drink, and if I did, it was like one drink or so. And I do remember him saying that he didn't drink, so that was that. Now the thing is, I drove my car, he rode in my car. So we're driving back, and at the time, I had a 2-door Honda Accord. So, you know, those cars are like pretty small. So we're driving back or whatever. And I remember him like kept on like telling me like, oh, this car is so small. Like, we should have took my truck or whatever. But it wasn't even a long ride. So making a long story short, we get back to, we pull back up to the shop, and it's like pitch black out there because there's not a lot of good lighting. Like I told you, there's a church at the bottom, so of course no one was there. This is a Friday night. And then upstairs there was really like no other spaces like rented, and if there were people renting them, they had already been gone, because by the time we get back now, it has to be like 11 o'clock, because we got finished with my hair probably like around 7 or 8 or something. We go get something to eat, you know, we chilling watching, it was like a basketball game on or something, so we were just like kicking it. So we get back, and mind you guys, I think this man likes men, so, you know, I'm not like tripping. I'm like, okay. So we get back, we pull up, and he's like, you know, are you gonna come up? And I'm just like, no, I'm not. I'm about to go. Like, I have to go home. And at the time, I didn't have any kids, so, you know, I'm just living life. I'm like, I'm gonna go home, go out. I'm about to go get myself together. Like, no, I'm not about to come upstairs. But he always said it in like a playful manner, like he had said it before. So I'm just like, no, I'm not going, you know, upstairs or whatever. So when I push the unlock button, he locks it back. Like, it was like the automatic lock. So he pushes the automatic lock on his side. So I'm like, you know, what are you doing? Like, you know, get out of my car, you know, kind of thing. I didn't say that, but I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, stop playing, like, get out of my car. And so he's like, no, you're coming upstairs. I'm like, no, I'm not coming upstairs. He was like, yes, you are. So at this time, I'm like, okay, this dude is crazy. And I'm like, the only option I have right now is to jump out this car and run. Yes, leave my car and run. Or, like, anything could happen, because he was making me so nervous. So I'm getting, like, really, really nervous. And I grabbed my cell phone, because my cell phone was in my cup holder. I do remember that. So I grabbed my cell phone, and I like slid it over on to my left side, so that it wouldn't be close to him, it would be close to me. So in the meantime, just sitting in the car, I'm just like, you know, are you gonna get out or what, you know? So he's like, no, I'm not gonna get out. So I try to unlock my door, y'all. So I like push the unlock button on my door. He grabs my arm and like yanks me like closer to him. He's like, I need you to come upstairs. I'm like, well, I told him, I'm like, you're making me uncomfortable. I'm like, please, can you get out of my car? Like, I feel uncomfortable. Like, I'm good. Like, you don't have to do my hair anymore. Like, I'm good. Like, I want to go. You know, can we go? So, he wouldn't let my arm go, y'all. So I'm like tugging him to get off of me, And at this point, I'm like, okay, now I'm in like fight mode. Like, this is like survival mode. Like, I need to get out of this car, because like a lot of bad things can happen at this point. You know, you never know what type of state of mind like people be in. So I'm like, okay, this dude is just tripping. He was like, oh, you know, I have been doing your hair to try to get closer to you, and I just think you're so beautiful, and you, like, all of you women, you never give me a chance, and can you just please give me a chance? Like, I'm popping. So many people know me. I'm thinking like, okay, if so many people know you. If you do anything out of line to me, everybody gonna know you, because you're gonna be on the 10 o'clock news. So I'm like, okay, please let me go. So I'm like tugging him. He tugging me. Finally, y'all, I roll my window down. And in the midst of me rolling my window down, the music was up so loud because the music was already on, so I didn't even have any time to like turn it down or anything. The music was like super loud. He didn't hear me rolling my window down. So I had already rolled the window down, and I'm just like, okay, here's my chance, y'all. Like, I'm not on it. So I had grabbed my phone in my hand. I took my other hand, which was on the side of him, while he's like, you know, he still got me. Like, I'm tugging. I yanked so hard away from him. I stuck my arm out. I unlocked the door, y'all. I got out that car and ran for my life, y'all. Like, I already was, like, really good at running. Like, that's what I do. So, I wasn't all the way in shape, but I yanked that car door open, and I ran. I left my car running. I left my keys in my car. I did not care. I had my phone. I ran and I ran and I ran till I couldn't run anymore. And it's so crazy because my boyfriend was living out of town at the time, and like that's the first person I called. I didn't call 911. I didn't call like someone that lived here to help me, because I'm like, if I know anybody gonna come down here and turn up, it's gonna be him. So I called him. I'm like, babe, I'm like, you know, you need to come down here. Like, what happened? I'm breathing so hard. I'm like on the side of the road. It's pitch black outside. I'm like, I need to go get my car. Like, I left my car. He's like, hold up, calm down. Tell me what's going on. So I tell him half of the story. I didn't even tell him all the details or anything. But he's like, I'm on my way, which is an 8-hour drive. So he's like, I'm on my way. And guys, he came down there that night and everything. But that was the reason why I was so traumatized, guys. I didn't wait till he came down. One of my friends actually came and got me. We went back up there. He was gone. His truck was gone. Everything was, all the lights were out. We didn't call the police or anything. I just got in my car and I left, and I was just like, I'm going to be done with him forever. So I just never went back. I never mentioned him. I was like, I hope I never run into him again or anything like that. So after that experience, guys, I never wanted to go to a shop to get my hair done. Even though I know how to do a lot of stuff myself, like I just said, forget it. I'm just gonna, you know, do the big chop and be done with it and just do my hair on my own, because I do not have time for this kind of stuff. And I felt like a man would be better for me per se, like with my hair, because I don't think they're like scissor happy. I feel like they're more like warming. So I thought that would be a good idea, but obviously it wasn't, because he had very ill intentions. So I'm very, very glad that my body was safe and that, you know, nothing went further with that. And I hope to this day that he didn't, you know, do any harm to any of his other clients, because he was pretty popular. He was in a Bronner Brothers hair show down here. And so I'm quite sure a lot of people know him, and if they knew like the type of person that he really is, like they would definitely be like, no, and they would definitely like leave him alone and would not be getting their hair done by him. So yes, guys, that is my story of why I haven't been to get my hair done in over 6 or 7 years at a hair salon, because I had a very bad experience. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. Be sure to like and subscribe. Until next time, YouTube. Bye.